Hello there, my name is Lime Lycan, and today we're going to be surviving 700 days in my Minecraft Nintendo Switch Edition world on Bedrock Edition. And I've got to say, this is going to be the final episode in this world, so don't get attached to this world too much. I'm going to start a new series, and according to the recent vote, you guys wanted me to play in Java Edition, so that's what I'm going to do. Without further ado, let's get into it. Day 501, I was harvesting stone in the caves, then I reorganized the chest in my iron farm, and covered up the edges so that way I wouldn't lose out on any of my iron numbers. Day 502, hung out in the blaze farm just for old time's sake. Day 503, I put up some bushes around various places that I had neglected to in the last episode, like around my pond and on the super smelter. Then I went off into the jungle to collect some wood, just because I wanted to fix this little corner of my slave chamber that I had neglected to. Day 504, I harvested some more wood and begun a new cartography project mapping out the whole world. I started with the center first and discovered that I could go really fast just by printing it out like a receipt. Didn't quite have enough experience to enchant this bow, so I continued on my cartography journey, this time to the north. Along the path of discovery on day 507, I found a jungle temple, went inside, avoided traps like I'm Indiana Jones, and found some new smithing templates called wild armor templates. By the morning of day 508, I had completed the map and found a desert village, and to the north of that, I found a desert temple. Unfortunately, I was not educated in the art of physics, so when I landed, I took Rangpur along with me on the trek to get my stuff back and even drew a map using screenshots of my offhand so I wouldn't get lost. On the night of day 509, I got my stuff back and went into the water next to the desert because I wasn't able to find any of these coral blocks around where I lived. Then I flew home. Day 510, I collected vines and cobblestone to make mossy cobblestone to clone more of these wild smithing templates. I thought up a new design for my armor using wild chest plate, tied helmet, and sentry legs and boots. Then I went back into the mines to replenish my diamond supply. The next day, I fortune 3'd the fruits of my labor, traded some glass panes with my cartographers, and started off a new map, this time to the right of the center. I finished it on day 512, flew home, and put it on my map room wall. Day 513, I had bad omens, so when I returned, I fought a raid on my base. Then I started a new map, this time to the south. Finished it the next day, returned home, and put it on my map room wall. Day 515, I harvested a bunch of cobblestone to craft a bunch of furnaces to use them to extend my super smelter a bunch. Day 517, I had basically run out of all my iron, but luckily I had just enough to finish the project. All that was left was to cover it in lime green glass and concrete and make the stone trim. I even built up some wooden lampposts because I was tired of the same old torches all over my base and wanted to be more ornate. Day 519, still placing down lampposts and laying down roads. Then I waited at the iron farm to craft more lanterns. Day 520, I took down a bunch of torches around my base and replaced them with glowstone underneath green carpet. Day 521, I did some alchemy at my brewing stands and put down some more glowstone. Day 522, I harvested some glowstone in the nether. Day 523, I put some lamps on this archway next to the villagers and mined stone. Day 524, I watched a tutorial on how to make a creeper farm because I was really hankering for gunpowder. Day 525, I finished the bottom of the funnel. Now it was time to build the water streams to lead the creepers into the hole. Because of my absolute lack of competence, I built this thing one block shorter than it was supposed to be on one side, so I had to drain all the water from the steps and rebuild that side. After I fixed it on day 526, I started building these spawn platforms, which are just crisscross patterns with buttons in between to stop spiders from spawning. Here I am gathering the stone on day 527 and continuing to build. Day 528, making the spawn spots ever so slightly shorter so only creepers can spawn. Day 529, I was live and harvesting wood. I need the wood, so I'm just chopping down a bunch of jungle trees. Day 530, I was live again. Make sure to watch me on the weekends. These challenge videos take me like a week to do because I have to play a lot and then do the editing. Day 531, still live. I was just about done by the next morning, and all that was left was to cover the entire farm in a giant roof to make it very dark. After I'd covered it, I checked the levels and it was producing pretty good amounts of gunpowder. Day 535, I am building a giant dirt circle in the swamp to make a slime farm. Day 536, I finished the collection system and built up the border around the circle. Day 537 and day 538, I was filling in the circle with more dirt and harvesting brown mushrooms to raise the light level. Day 539, I was looking for amethyst to make some tinted glass as I wanted to see through the roof without letting any light in. I didn't end up getting very much, so I had to fill the rest of the roof up with deep slate tiles. Day 541, I placed on the brown mushrooms I had harvested prior. Day 542, I repaired my tools in the blaze farm and put the iron golem in the kill chamber of my slime farm. Later that day, I went to go collect some more brown mushrooms. Day 543, still collecting brown mushrooms and placing them down in the slime farm. Day 544, I went on another harvesting trip of brown mushrooms and finally finished the inside of the slime farm. Day 545, I used some of these flowering azaleas all over my base because I thought they looked cute with their flowers, and built a tower of scaffolding really high up above the slime farm to AFK at it. Day 546, I AFK'd at my creeper farm, but when I came back to check the numbers, I discovered that something was very wrong as I only had about a stack of gunpowder inside of it. So I waited another day and saw that the numbers were still really shitty. The next day I made some fireworks charges and armed myself with a
rocket launcher
and enjoyed blasting enemies from far away with green rockets. Then I lit up the area immediate around my slime farm. 549, I'm up there just waiting for the slime to spawn, and on day 550 I saw the numbers, which weren't as good as they could have been, but were decent. Then I dug out a tunnel 17 by 6 by 7 in the deep slate layer to build a tunnel bore. Once it was finished, all that was needed was to put 2 pieces of ancient debris on the tip and test it out to see that it works flawlessly. So on day 553 I just spent the whole day mining out this giant tunnel with my cute little tunnel bore I built. Day 554, still mining with the tunnel bore and found some diamonds along the way. Day 555, I filled the tunnel bore with TNT to the brim and found a lot more diamonds this day. I think I got about a stack and a half of diamonds in total. Day 556, I'm trading with my farmer villagers and making bone meal in their composters. Then I waited for a villager to turn into a white wool shepherd. Day 557, I made another white wool villager and traded with him some, then went back to mining with my tunnel bore. Day 558, I made some extensions to the villager trading hall, adding, I think, 8 more slots for villagers. Day 559, I traded some more with my white wool villager. Then I went back into the jungle and harvested a bunch of jungle leaves as I was going to need a lot of them to build an enderman farm. Day 560 made it into the end and started bridging into nowhere and made the collection system. Day 561 I bridged back with this little barrier so I wouldn't fall off the edge when I was running towards the farm. After that I started making the spawn platform high up above where the kill chamber was. After that I put some trapdoors so those stupid endermen would walk right into the funnel. Day 562 I put a named endermite into a minecart and mined out all the blocks around him so that the enderman would try to kill him but ultimately fail. All that was left to do was to wait at the bottom and slaughter some endermen. Day 563 I put a new librarian villager into the trading hall. Day 564 I put 2 more villagers, another librarian, and a cartographer in the trading hall. Then I tried to give my leggings thorns 3 but I didn't have enough XP so I had to head out to the enderman farm. Day 565 gathering XP. Day 566 still gathering XP. Day 567 I killed most of the villagers and removed their work blocks from the love hotel. Day 568 I put 2 villagers inside of a new breeding machine that I had made that dispenses food on top of them. Day 569 I went to the desert temples and found some sherds because I really wanted to do archaeology. Day 570 I fought a random raid on this village that I had found on my quest to find more sherds. Then I crafted a decorated pot. Day 571 waited at the creeper farm. Day 572 I got started on the left side of the map. Day 573 I finished it, flew home, and put it up in my map room. Then of course I went to the enderman farm to repair my elytra. Day 574 I mined out some jungle wood, then flattened out an area in the snow biome because I was going to start on my temple. I wanted to make a temple to me, so I started with the tower first, you know, the bell tower that most churches have. I was modeling it after like a Catholic church or something. Here I am laying out this stained glass window that's shaped like a lime, of course. Once I did the outer details of the lower levels, I started building up higher and higher until I had just about finished on day 578. All that was left was to put a little point on top with some glowstone so that mobs wouldn't spawn on the tip of the building. Day 579 I lit up more areas with torches just to melt the ice around so that way I wouldn't have to deal with it every day. Then on day 580 I flew up to the top of the tower and put the glowstone like I said I was gonna do. Day 581 through day 592, I was digging out a chunk. Like an entire chunk out of my world. I don't know why, I just really wanted to dig down to bedrock, like a giant square, a hole in the ground, to assert my dominance over Mother Nature. It wasn't actually that difficult. The worst part was probably when I got to the lava layer and had to put water to stop the lava from flowing everywhere. And then the deep slate took a long time to mine because with my beacon, I barely mined faster than stone, like without a beacon, so it was really annoying. Day 593, I took my beacon out from inside of the quarry and put it back to where I had it, which was my home beacon next to my house. Day 594, I wasn't about to use scaffolding or ladders to climb slowly up and down the quarry, so I started construction on this tube for a water elevator. Day 595, I used this kelp to make water source blocks all the way up the water elevator. Then on day 596, I finished the walls of the tube and put some signs at the bottom to stop leaks. Then I put a bridge across the 4 cardinal directions and put up fence posts with some logs, and even put up a little staircase leading up to it. Day 597 took a day out to wait near the creeper farm. Day 598, I found the reason why the creepers weren't falling through the holes. As you can see, there's spiders starting to spawn in my creeper farm, which lower the numbers of creepers that can spawn. Day 599, I waited at the slime farm, and when I checked the numbers, it was extremely lucrative. Day 600, we're about halfway done, coming back to the Enderman farm to get more experience points. Day 601, I put one of my tunnel bores down into the quarry. Day 602, I put another tunnel bore in the quarry. And day 603, I put yet another tunnel bore in the quarry. Day 604, once I had finished putting down the tunnel bores, I ripped down this deep slate wall. No longer would my territory be divided. The icy tundras and the verdant forests would coalesce. Day 605, I tested out how fast I could fall down into the quarry with my water elevator, and it was pretty fast, plus I finished decorating the outside of the top. Day 605, did some terraforming. Day 606, still terraforming, and lit up the rest of the flatlands. Day 607, still terraforming, and put down some torches to melt some of that ice. The next day, still terraforming. Day 609 and day 610, I fought the Ender Dragon because at some point I had died and lost my elytra again, so I went to go get another pair. Day 611, I filled in and closed the mine underneath my mountain home because obviously I wasn't going to use it anymore, and told everyone to just use the quarry. Day 612, I was putting the outline of the chapel of the church, or the kind of room where everyone sits and worships. I built the wall and connected it to the spire. Day 613, I finished the roof and was laying down these jungle steps. Then I drilled holes where the windows go. Day 614, I drilled more holes for more windows and finished up on a lime stained glass window behind where the preacher sits. Day 615, I was putting some outside details on the top of the windows. Then I got started on a green wool and obsidian tile floor. Day 616, I had just about finished that tile floor, and later that day I started on this little altar for the preacher to sit. I also put up some lime green candelabras because I just thought they looked nice. Day 617, just about finished with the stained glass window behind the preacher. Then I started laying out the pews where the worshippers would sit. After that, I put some lanterns up for more substantial light. Day 618, I put some lime green carpet on the pathways on each cardinal direction of the quarry. Then I dug a tunnel towards the end portal in the nether so that way I wouldn't have to go over the overworld. Day 619, killing some endermen. Day 620, I renamed my trident to Soaring Neptune. Then I did some training with my villagers. I also put down some support beams made of jungle logs in the ocean to make a little diagonal dock where I could sit and fish from. 621, laying down the slabs that make up the dock, and finished the design later that night. I also put up these lime ribbons just because I thought it looked cool. Day 622, I built a fishing house on the dock and filled it with jungle boats just in case I wanted to embark on a fishing adventure. 623, waiting at the creeper farm. Day 624, to fix the problem of the new update breaking the buttons as spawn-proofing methods, I used iron bars instead, but this created a new problem. The creepers now were not walking off the edge, and I was still getting pitiful amounts of gunpowder. Day 625, I did some mining with my tunnel bores. Day 626, I took a break from all that work and just decided to cast my line into the ocean to see what I would get. Okay, leisure time's over. Time to dig into the sand to look for a treasure chest, which I don't know why I searched so hard, but I eventually did find a Heart of the Sea, which is what I was looking for. I then put a conduit down next to my ocean monument. Day 628, I was fixing this messed up design on my water tower. Instead of these weird spidery legs, I just gave it 4 straight legs with a rim around it to hold the water in place. Day 629, I did some cleaning of my chests and organized all my shulker boxes. Day 630, I lit up more of the surrounding tundra and started up on an apartment complex. Day 631, I had finished the first floor. Then I started on the second one and eventually finished the third one. After that, I started putting down the floorboards. Day 632, still putting down those floorboards. After laying down that linoleum, it was time to build the walls with deep slate tiles. Day 633, I built the platforms where you would walk up and down to get to the upper floors. Then I laid down the staircases and used all the extra stair blocks to give it a nice trim. Day 634, I put support beams on the apartment stairs so they wouldn't fall. Then put up some safety rails for those gosh darn Office of House Regulations. After that, I put some stained glass windows. I was damn near done with the roof until a phantom decided to swoop down on me, so I went to bed that night. Day 635, I finished the roof on both sides of the apartment complex. Then I started working on the outside details of these windows. Day 636, putting the finishing touches on the apartment complex, mostly putting this overhang on the roof. Once I finished, I gave it a name, the lime green spaces, and put the rent at £400. Yes, pounds. I think all the villagers are British, and it looks pretty good from the outside. Day 637, I wanted to expand my sheep farm, so I started building more and more of these sheep chambers. Day 638, after gathering the last of my iron, I put down these hoppers on each of the chambers. Later, I laid down the redstone mechanics for each one. Day 639, I put a sheep in one of the chambers. Day 640, I put another sheep in the chambers. Day 641, I continued my terraforming efforts and waited at my creeper farm again. Day 642, I did some trading with my villagers and replaced the iron golem inside of my slime farm with a snow golem just to get better numbers. I later harvested all the mangrove trees on my property. Day 643, I chopped down all the cherry trees. Then I started sterilizing the spawn columns of these guardians because I really wanted to make a guardian farm, and I kept doing that all the way up until day 645. Day 646, I started laying down the ice paths for the item flows. Then I laid down the kill chambers. I spent all of day 647 just trying to get the water flows right. Once all the redstone had been placed down and this bubble column was made, it was finally ready to test out, but first I needed to make a storage solution, so I used 4 double chests and some hoppers, but I didn't actually have enough to make those hoppers, so I needed to mine more iron. Day 650, once I had the 12 hoppers you need for this machine to work, I was ready to test it out. And it worked flawlessly once again. Day 651, I traded with my cartographers. Day 652, I put more sheep in the chambers. There's days between when I put sheep in the chambers because I have to wait for wild sheep to spawn on my property. Day 654, more sheep, more chambers. I think this was actually the last one that I needed for my sheep chambers. Day 655, I hunted some wither skeletons until I had 3 wither skeleton skulls so I could use them to summon the wither to fight him for the 3rd time. And so that's what I did later that day in my go-to place to fight the wither, the end. Of course, due to my immense Minecraft skill, he went down pretty easy, and an enderman got caught in the crossfire and dropped a wither rose for me. Day 656, I did some training with my librarians. Day 657, I waited at my iron farm, but to no avail as the recent update broke my iron farm and there was nothing I can do. So from now on, I had to mine iron from scratch. Day 658, still trading with my villagers. Day 659, trading with my shepherds this time. Day 660, I traded so much I ended up inflating the emerald to white wool exchange rate. I tried to breed more villagers to keep up with the demand, but they never ended up breathing no matter how many times I put beds back down and took them off again. These two never paired to their beds, and I got so angry I decided to kill every single villager in my base, and I mean every single one. So after I discontinued my path to making a 3rd beacon, I decided to breed my kittens around just because I really wanted more cats. I don't know why, I just really wanted more cats. Day 662, I began the stupidest project I've ever done, which was encasing my creeper farm in a giant wool TNT block. I started off with the first red layer today. I ended up running out of red dye, so I had to go all the way out to look for some rose bushes to clone. Little known fact, on Bedrock Edition, you can clone tall flowers by hitting them with a Fortune 3 enchantment. Anyways, I got back to building that day. Day 664, still building that first red layer. After I finished the first layer, I drew an outline of the other 2. Day 665, I ran out of shears in my sheep farm, so I had to go and mine iron in a far-off cave. It was actually pretty easy since iron is pretty common in these new cave generations. Ooh, I found some axolotls! Better scoop them up in a bucket and steal them and put them in an aquarium where they will live the rest of their lives in captivity. Day 666, after replenishing my wool stocks, I used some black wool to make the tea of the TNT. Day 667, I waited at my guardian farm. Then I dug a hole in the ice biome to put the brand new beacon down. Now this thing isn't going to be the beautiful verdant gem you're used to seeing, it's going to be a crisp, wintry, ice-cold cyan gemstone channeling the energy of the snow and ice in this region. I even lit it up with a colder, light block. instead of glowstone, I used sea lanterns, and it looks beautiful. Day 668, I got started on the bottom platform of my new aquarium that's gonna house my axolotls. Once I put down the coarse dirt and sand substrate, all that was left was to cover the top with a glass and concrete roof. Then I lit up the inside with some sea lanterns. Day 669, I filled the whole thing up with water and started planting some of these blue coral fans because I thought they looked really cool, and because it's the ice biome, so of course everything has to be blue. Then I decided to put a spruce trim around the edges. After that, I put these sea lanterns in a very specific configuration, as when you do this, it makes a donut shape on the top. Then I replaced all of the green stained glass windows with some cyan ones because this is the ice biome. Day 670, went back into the Enderman farm to repair my elytra again. Then I started off on the corner pieces of my map room, this time the top left corner. I finished it on the night of day 671, flew home and put it on my wall by day 672. Then I went off to go repair my elytra again. Day 673, I wanted another automatic farm. This time I made a flower farm, which uses bone meal to constantly clone a tall flower that you put in this contraption. Day 674, I was working on the TNT block again, this time working on the white part of it. Then I AFK'd near my sheep farm to replenish my wool numbers. Day 675, I checked my gunpowder farm and it was really pitiful. Really disappointing. Day 676, I killed some squids to get more black dye. Day 677, I replaced the deep slate platform above my guardian farm with a lime green stained glass one, and punched out a spot to put an N on the TNT block. Day 678 got started on another region of the map. It went by really fast because I had the rain to help me fly throughout the world. Then of course flew back home and put it on my map room wall. Later that day I was able to go halfway finish this map because the rain was just being so nice to me. Then for the fucking quadrillionth time, put it in my map room wall again. Day 681, I am an actual idiot because I ended up making the same map over again, but I didn't notice until I went back home on day 682 and realized it couldn't go anywhere, so I had to start again on day 683. I went back to the other corner of the map to make a new corner piece. Then I took it home on day 684, completing my map room. The best part about this map is you can see how small the original Switch generation was. Day 685, just harvested some jungle trees. Day 686, I moved my conduit away from the Guardian farm as it was reducing the spawn numbers, and replaced the lime green carpet on the quarry with cyan because it's the ice biome. Then I made this wooden fence around an area I've designated the Lime Lichen National Park in my base, with the fountain at the center. Day 687, I put some trees in that national park and put these towers up with soul flames in the ice biome because they're very cold flame, and I don't know, I just really love the look of a blue cold flame in an icy biome. Day 688, I replaced the launch pad's green glazed terracotta with cyan glazed terracotta. It even has a cute little creeper face on it, which I didn't know. Day 689, I was chopping down some spruce trees because I was going to use them to make a log statue of the god of this land, of the Ice Spikes biome. Day 690, I was putting the finishing touches on the statue, making an amethyst crown and lighting up some soul flames, and from afar he looked pretty cool. Day 691, I went fishing off the docks and into a boat. I did the same thing on day 692 and day 693, but I got attacked by a bunch of drowned, so I flew away. Day 694, what public housing development isn't complete without a community pool? The design was actually quite simple, it's just a stone-lined hole in the ground with some water in it. Once I filled the thing up with water, I put a wooden fence around it, and started work on a diving board. Cannonball! Day 695, I continued terraforming. Day 696, I thought what was better to have in the snow biome than a bar that serves nice alcohol. I even made some chairs and tables for people to sit down and enjoy their drinks. Day 697, I made this well so that people could get clean water, and I built up to build limit with the scaffolding to try to get the trampoline achievement. I couldn't save myself with an MLG slime block, so I had to make this box at the bottom of the fall so that when I descended, I could hit the slime blocks and bounce 30 blocks. I didn't actually make it up to build height, so my first bounce wasn't very high, but on the second bounce, I made it and got the achievement. Do you know what you get for this? A frickin' skin texture. Oh man, I look like Gak. Finally, for the last 2 days of this playthrough, I just sat in my TNT box. Kind of anticlimactic, but I had no other way to end this series. So, this is the end, and, I wouldn't feel too sad about this world. I didn't do very much, and, I need to better my skills in Minecraft. But, hopefully in the next series, it'll be a little bit more entertaining. I will make this world available for download. Check the description for a link. And you guys can do whatever you want to this world because, honestly, I'm not playing in it anymore. So, I'll see you guys later. And remember, stay sour.